Greetings, Ross Tinney here. I wanted to take this opportunity to give you a quick whirlwind tour of all the gear that I use, right from tripod to sound to cameras, lenses. It's going to be pretty snappy, so please keep up. I apologise if I'm missing anything, but I'm really keen to give you a really good insight into how perhaps me as a, what do you call me, a slightly aging one-man band makes do with really good gear, and I compromise where I have to, and I think about the big picture and say, well, do I need this, do I need that? Maybe not. So I kind of work around the budget that I have, the time frame that I have, the quality, and all about me as a director managing expectations. So let's get started. First of all, I'll introduce you to all of my gear. Okay, right, so that's kind of all the gear, but I want to break it down into departments. So just let's break it down first into the camera department. Okay, this is the bag that I put all my cameras, well, my two cameras. My two cameras are the Canon 5D Mark III and the Canon 5D Mark IV. You'll notice that I am not actually showing them to you because that's what I'm filming with. The close-up down here is the Canon 5D Mark III, and this one here is the Canon 5D Mark IV. But I'll get to that in a sec. In order for me to show you these two cameras, I'm going to use my iPhone 8 Plus. Okay, let's move away and I'll show you. Let's go and show you. I'm actually filming in my garage for the first time at the moment. So this is my Canon 5D Mark III. Beautiful camera. It's 25 megapixel, I think it's 25 megapixel raw. It shoots at 1920, 1080, and this is the 70 to 200 f2.8 Canon lens. Absolutely sensational. So that's the side camera that I'm using. That's the solar panel in the background, and this is, I'm trying to do this very, very gingerly, and this is the Canon 5D Mark IV with the 2470 f2.8 Canon L series lens on. Absolutely sensational lens, and I can't speak more highly of this lens. It's a fantastic workhorse, and where would I be without it? I've got another couple of lenses back in the main film set I want to show you. Come and have a look at these. Oh, while I'm here, this is the lights that I use. It's an Alishué Edge Light LSR 700, I believe. Absolutely fantastic. Let me give you a closer look. It's got daylight and tungsten. You can put batteries. You've got the big battery on the top, or the little Sony batteries. And honestly, they are fantastic for what I want, and fantastic for two-person interviews. You can see they punch out a lot of light. You can hand hold them, easy to tote around. They come in a couple of bags like that. Very easy to transport them if you're going interstate, overseas, on flights. Easy as, no problem at all. Something that you should always have in your bag, and that is a power board. How many times do you have to run more than one cable? You're trying to walk around an office building. I love this one because it's got a huge cable attached to it. I just want to say something about this bag. I was urged to buy this bag by the camera shop. Actually, I bought it in Jakarta, in Indonesia. They said, really, what you want to be doing is not showing everyone that you're a photographer, and almost like sort of go under the radar, make it look like just a normal everyday bag. So inside it's got all the cubicles that I need, but it looks like an everyday travel bag. The fact that I've got two really expensive cameras in there and a whole heap of lenses, you really don't notice it. Anyway, that's about that. Every now and then I need to go a bit smaller, and I get this Canon bag, fits one camera maybe and a couple of lenses, some batteries, power pack, battery charger. So that's also good for going on little excursions. The other two lenses that I want to talk to you about, let's just wipe the carpet free, is this one here. It's an absolute beautiful lens. This is the Canon 50mm 1.2 f1.2 fast lens, and it's absolutely fantastic as a portrait lens. Not cheap, but magnificent. The other one is this, a fixed 14mm, once again f2.8, magnificent. Do a lot of real estate. Always makes places look bigger than they actually are without it being distorted. It's not a fisheye lens, but magnificent. Whoops, bumped. Fantastic. What other cameras do I use? I use this. This is a contour. Yeah, I know you may say, well, the GoPro has superseded that, but I use this contour. I love it, the fact that it's cylindrical and you just press it like so and it's recording, and you can stick it in your hand. It's really, really easy to walk around with. I've had it on my helmet, and yeah, GoPro's fantastic. Here is the Hero 6 that I use as well. It's got a little handle. I've got straps to put it around my chest. I can do all those things, helmet cam, whatever, if I go skiing. But both of these have their uses. I'm about to go and buy potentially the Hero Black 7 or an Osmo. I kind of feel I need a bit more of a gimbal camera. More about that later. And the other camera is obviously this. Now and then you're going to come unstuck. You're going to come unstuck when your batteries are dead, you're out and about, you just need a cutaway shot, and you're shooting a documentary and you just need to capture it. You need to capture it. And sometimes you can't be the videographer doing that. You need to give it to someone. So here's a backup. Shoots good quality film, and it does me fine every now and then when I need to take a still, capture a behind the scenes or whatever. And as you can see, what I've just done. You may recognize this. Boy, have I lost a few of these. I've now gone online and I have a truck. I have a truckload of them. Not only do I have those, but I have a whole heap of these as well, because when you're out back, or you're out in the desert, you're out what have you, sometimes you get a little bit forgetful. You're just so under stress, you're so under the pump, and you need these when all of a sudden there's wind blowing, there's sand blowing. You need to protect. Without doubt, it's my son leaving. Yeah, so you can never have enough of those. Tripods. I got little tripods like this where I can stick my camera on, but this is the beast that I use a lot of the time for my Canon 5D Mark IV, and that is a Manfrotto monopod. I love this monopod. It's got its own stand at the base, so you can either have it as a straight, or you can fix it so it becomes a solid base. It's almost a tripod in its own right, and it extends. The camera goes directly onto the top, and away you go. It's absolutely fantastic, and I use it as a gimbal, just as a stabilizer. No, my 2470 doesn't have an inbuilt stabilizer, and I don't normally use my 70 to 200, but I've kind of got to learn how to walk and just gingerly walk backwards, forwards, what have you, with my camera, and I stabilize it in post-production as well. But it's a fabulous mount. So I've got 3 tripods plus a monopod, always a backup, always have a backup. I have one of these. Sometimes I need to do camera where I'm walking and talking. I have some filters, different filters, ND, neutral density filters. I've got a 2, a 4, and an 8. I've got a polarizing filter, and they do me fine. If sometimes you need to shut down the light coming through the lens, these are fantastic, particularly if you want to do time lapse, where you want the talent or the object that's moving through frame just to blur a little bit, just to hold a little bit of a lag. These do that fantastic. And with the Canon 5D Mark IV, it has an inbuilt time-lapse system, which is fantastic. How do I move my camera around? Well, what I do like to do is just to stick this onto the horseshoe on top of my camera. This is fantastic for running low angle, running behind people, running backwards, just getting low angle shots. It's absolutely fantastic. But the thing that I absolutely love is this. This is an Edelkrone slider. Absolutely sensational. This gives you beautiful tracking shots, tabletop. They have a module that you can add onto this that controls the speed of the camera move, and there's also another one that can control the pan and tilt of your head as well. Absolutely fantastic, Edelkrone. I want to talk about sound. This is my Rode mic. You must be seeing one of these. Absolutely fantastic. I've got a windsock that can go over the top of it. I also have a stand like so. It's got a heavy weight at the base, and yes, sometimes it's a pain to carry. I pretty much record 2 cameras on all my interviews. Yes, I've got a mixer that I could put both microphones into one mixer and goes into one camera, but not only do I have 2 cameras, 2 angles, I have 2 microphones, because I can tell you that Murphy's Law is pretty unforgiving, and you can come unstuck when you think that both microphones, or the microphone that is your lead microphone, this one you think is working, all of a sudden the battery might have gone flat, the cable might have gone faulty, all of a sudden you've got this really important interview that's got no sound. So I always have a backup microphone. I have and am talking at the moment on this, which is a Sennheiser a GW4, I think it is, and this is fantastic. You can see in here, got the receiver on there and another one on the top of the camera, and I carry a truckload of these. Why? Because sometimes your son, Dad, can I borrow your headphones? I seem to have lost mine. Yeah, sure, son. All of a sudden you have to rush out the door to a shoot and you've got no way of monitoring your sound. So I have one in here, I have one in my camera bag, and I have one in the car. I have them all over the place. Why? Because I have come unstuck as a result of not having headphones to monitor. Some little things like this, gaffer tape. Carry plenty of it. You're always going to have to tape a cable somewhere out of the way, or tape someone's microphone, whatever. I also carry one of these because there are bolts and things that come unstuck, come unscrewed, and I need that as a backup. Set of Allen keys just in case. In my camera bag, I have a pad and a little notepad. Yes, I could put it on to my iPhone and type all the information on what time sunrise and sunset and what have you, but sometimes your phone runs out of battery, so you need to have this as a backup. Sometimes you are doing multiple interviews and you need to know, when you put all the information at the editing stage, who the hell you've just interviewed. It's good to have one of these and one of these. It's a whiteboard marker, and sometimes you can use it as a tap or a slap or a clap or whatever, as a sync. Yes, on most of the bigger shoots you're going to have a electronic digital slate, and that's all fine. But if you're out there and you're the one-man band, you need to be having lots of multiple things on standby, and this is coming really handy. I've just done a cooking series where we did 10 to 12 recipes a day. 2 cameras. I needed to know what recipe related to what camera, on what time of day and what have you, and this was absolutely priceless. At the end of the shoot, you're going to want to record your footage. Always carry your laptop if you can, and do a backup. You may not have the luxury of a data wrangler or someone who's going to, give the footage to me. You should have one of these. This is a Lacey, and it takes 2 terabyte. Absolutely fantastic. It's about just under $100. This is part of a microphone stand that I sometimes need to take this and actually put it closer to one of my interviews. And I don't want a pole. I don't want a huge bloody pole that's got extensions and gone. I just want something that's light and user friendly. So when I updated to my new mic stand, I took my old one apart and just took the sleeve out of it. So I can get a student or my assistant or my producer. If I don't have this pole and I'm out on location and I'm running my camera off my monopod, but I want to get the microphone a little bit closer to the subject so I get good clean sound, this comes in handy. What else? Here's something you may not have thought of. Now and then, you as a one-man videographer have to record a voiceover. Now this is what I bought off eBay. It's just your own little mini studio where I have this Rode microphone. I think it's an NT8 or something like that. This is your own little mini studio. $49 it cost me on eBay. Absolutely fantastic. And I've done lots of voiceovers. As a guide, sometimes you're editing, you need a guide track. This is absolutely fantastic. I think you just Google mini mobile or mobile studio on eBay and you can get one of these. It came out of America and absolutely fantastic. One thing I forgot about my lighting as well is I have one of these. You may say, oh, what the hell? But I tell you what, this is worth its weight in gold. Yes, it's big, but you know how sometimes when you go out on a shoot and you're out in the middle of the bloody desert and the sun is blaring down and you want to take the sun out of play. The thing that you need is one of these, to be able to stick it on a stand and just stick it over. I'm making this really, really difficult. Stick it this over the top of your talent, takes out the sun, and I'm just going to throw that over there for the moment, and that'll be good. I told you I'm trying to race through this as much as I can. The last thing I want to show you is this. This is a rock and roller. This is what I carry all my gear around in. I used to have this, and this was great. You know, I got it at Bunnings, and it folds out, and it's fantastic. But you know what? I got too much bloody gear. I tell you what, I needed this, and this is fantastic. It folds out. Well, it's also childproof. Folds out, so you have yay, like handle thingy. I'd maybe not have a big enough lens, but more importantly, you can actually put a bed on the top, so you can use it as a table if you're changing lenses, you need to do some repairs, running repairs. But more importantly, this thing actually extends out another yay length, so you can turn it into a seriously long big trolley that can take a truckload of stuff. It's amazing. This is called a rock and roller. I got it out of B&H in New York, and it's the R12. A good friend of mine, Torstein, he's a kick-ass DOP. He's got the R18. Well, you know, hello, one-upmanship. That's all fine. But you know what? I didn't need as much gear as that he carries, so I just got the R12. This is absolutely fantastic. I haven't actually tested this in an airport, but Torstein says you just stick it through oversize and it's absolutely easy, no worries at all. So, dare I say, that's it. That's a whirlwind look at the gear that I have. I also edit on Final Cut Pro 10. I enjoy Final Cut Pro as an editing process. I do corporates and documentaries and those sorts of things. If I'm directing a TV commercial, the budget's obviously more, and I end up going to a proper professional post house for offline, online. If you'd like to read my book, you should get it. My POV, Getting Ahead in the Film Industry. I'm so passionate about wanting to pass all my knowledge on to students and upcoming film professionals. I want to give you as much of an insight into what I've done over the last 30 to 40 years, and yeah, hope you get something out of it. Hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel below, and if you've got any comments or you've got any anecdotes of the gear that you use, or you want to share some photographs or little videos, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to see them. That's it. Have a great day and look after yourself. Work hard and be nice to people, by the way. These are easy to unfold. It's really, really interesting when you are in a hurry and you have to fold this thing up. It won't be a minute.